Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to IBC's podcast, The Evil Safety Dudes, a show about two guys trapped in a subway trying to survive.
No. What we are how not to die at work. So, I mean, maybe if that was occupational.
Dude, that would be a terrifying real-life scenario.
Yeah. No, we are the Evil Safety Dudes, and it's a podcast about all things work-related injuries, how not to die at work. So,
You know, honestly, that would be really scary. The turnstiles just stop. You're like trying to leave the subway. You're the last person there.
it'd be scared right now because COVID being that little can packed full of people. I wonder what they're doing in New York
I don't
for
know,
all
man.
this.
I think it would scare me more just be by myself down there. You know, it's like 4, trying to leave the subway. Turnstile's not letting me out.
Ninja Turtles, though. They might come save
maybe
you.
I would get a little excited at that point.
But so we got a great show for you today. It's on Pepe.
No. It's PPE.
Okay, for our English-speaking guests, it's on personal protective equipment. And you know what's really cool about there's always silver linings. COVID's a terrible tragedy, but in our industry, a lot more people know what PPE is now.
Oh, yeah.
For years, I would have to say PPE, personal protective equipment. Now I say PPE, and I don't know, more people, not
more people
everybody,
get it.
but more people know exactly what I'm talking about.
For sure.
So, but that's what we're talking about, all things PPE. Let me introduce to you the co-host today, AJ Hanscom. He is an authorized OSHA outreach instructor for the general industry and construction. Fancy.
Ooh. Let me introduce you the man who buys me tacos, Aaron Iacino. He is an occupational safety and health nurse.
He
knows what he's talking
about. All right, cool. So PPE. Now, again, it's a Monday. How was your weekend?
Weekend was good, man. I had a lot going on this weekend.
Did you hit any personal bests for your lifting?
No, I didn't PR this last week. Working on it. I did get my my powerlifting total up over 1,200 pounds, though.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you throw together my bench, squat, and deadlift. I'm over 1,200. That was pretty huge for me. I was happy.
That's cool. I hit my 1 month of no fake sugar, and to see if that helped with joint pain.
How you feeling?
It seems to. Yeah, it wasn't as hard as I thought either.
0 fake sugar, dude. I mean, that like you can't even borrow a piece of gum at this point. Like nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't too insane about it, but I was, a diet soda junkie for 20 years. Like if I died, you should study my body to see what protein bars and diet soda does to a human. I would have been perfect. But I decided to get off that just to see if it made me feel any better, and I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, let's get back to the show. So, talking about OSHA cases, I got one that I am that's closed, so I can talk about it. Not talk about any particulars, but COVID-19 worldwide pandemic. There's so many essential businesses they got to keep working, and some of them maybe had health and safety people, some of them did not. A lot of times it was just executives making health and safety shots from their knowledge from the news, and they were issuing KN95s to employees, N95s to employees. No medical evaluation, no fit test, no policy. OSHA comes for one reason to another and asked to see all that. Nothing. Busted. Citation. Call Aaron. Aaron, fix this.
So they're all reactive.
Yeah, but that's a bad word in safety.
Yeah.
Reactive, that's what most people do. They only fix something after the incident, after they get busted or after the injury. I'll cut them slack during a global pandemic. It's hard to be proactive.
Right.
If you're a business that never thought you would need to issue N95s to anybody, you wouldn't really have all that stuff.
Right.
And you don't know till you know. Most people don't know any of this evil safety knowledge.
How are they supposed to know they need help if they don't even know that they need help?
Yeah, I mean, I just make people mad all the time because I tell them all these OSHA rules that they don't know, and they just get mad at me. But that's why we're the evil safety dudes. The employers hate us because we tell them all the training they have to provide and all the PPE they have to provide and all the policies and audits and everything you have to do, and the employees hate us because we're always going on site saying, "Excuse me, sir, can you please put on your safety glasses?"
Right? Yeah, the bare minimum. Please don't do that. You could die.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't care about that. Well,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure at this point you might.
I've been doing this before you were a gleam in your daddy's eye.
Oh, man. I've actually been told that. I've been doing this for longer than you've been alive.
Yeah, I've been told that many, many times. And my answer is, that's cool. You should know how to do it right by now. No,
oh, shots fired.
No,
That's rough.
No, if I wanted to be less antagonistic, that's cool. Have you heard of the law of averages?
I mean, eventually, but
You do something unsafe, wrong for 20 years. I mean, you're due. I mean, that's what playing slot machines, right? You want that one somebody been putting quarters in for an hour and hadn't hit nothing. That's the one you want to go to. You don't want to go to.
Oh, this is even more dangerous than a slot machine, though, man. Because 20 years of use means it's even closer to breaking. If it could have broken brand new, now it's 20 years used. I mean, whew.
So that's my case study for this podcast. Is just an alert to all the employers out there. So many of you all are issuing KN95s and N95s to your employee to protect them from spreading and contracting the COVID-19 virus. So please get a respiratory protection program that is fine-tuned to your company and adopted, and then provide medical evaluations by someone qualified to do that, provide respirator fit tests for the exact make and model of respirator issuing, and then train them on it.
Oh, yeah, training.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Every now and then.
All right, AJ, what do you got today for OSHA updates?
Well, this has been one of the big ones with the whole COVID-19. Everything that happened all summer, everybody was out getting KN95s, buying up all the N95s until we were out. I mean, globally, everybody's out. And OSHA went ahead and decided to update the fit testing initial requirement. They said if you're going to be throwing respirators on employees, you can postpone their initial fit testing.
Are you sure it wasn't the annual one?
Maybe I have that backwards.
Yeah.
So initial fit testing required. Annual fit test has actually been postponed.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's cool, man.
Not canceled. It'll come back.
Yeah. I appreciate a lot of that. Our governor in Iowa has helped out a lot of different things as far as, me being a nurse, saying, hey, we understand if it's tough to get your CEUs in this year, we'll cut you some slack on renewing. And I did have to renew my license this year. I was able to get the million CEUs I needed online.
That's good.
But it's cool when they do cut you a little slack during a disaster or a global pandemic. So, taking away that the annual requirement. Because if someone is fit tested already and they are being issued that same exact K95 or N95 make and model, you could just let them keep wearing it. We could get down and dirty to those compliance things after this is over, but
for sure.
But just so you know why that's there, if you gain weight or lose weight, you may not fit that mask anymore. There is a good reason why that's there. What do you know? Some of the other reasons why they want us to do that annual?
You could get dentures put in. You could lose teeth. You could have had facial scarring. Gain and lost weight. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things. Piercings.
You could have a piercing right on that seal that you didn't have during that initial fit test. And, everything's changed now. 20 years ago when I became a nurse, you had to pop off your earrings. They let you put a little stud in. But, back in the day, I had a few on one ear.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I had hair, too.
Schmancy.
I was cool, man. I had a ponytail. Hair. Yeah, I looked like a skater, and I was a nurse.
There you go.
But I remember new nurses getting hired with nose rings and all that stuff, and they said, hey, you got to pull them out. You're a nurse.
What if I just grew like a big mole, right on my seal line? That would probably...
That would cause an issue.
That would not be great.
I've had nurses not come back because they didn't want to pull out their piercings.
Uh-huh.
They were worried about those piercings falling into patients.
Man, that's something that's a whole nother conversation we could go into. I came from fast food and food service and piercings. My goodness.
Yeah, you don't want that falling in food. But as far as that fit, there's a lot of things that could affect that seal, and it is imperative that the employee who's trying to protect themselves from contracting COVID-19 has a seal.
Well, yeah. I mean, otherwise it just looks like they're covered and protected, but really there's nothing there.
What I'm telling everybody when they're wearing those is no seal, no protection. When I'm telling them why their face coverings don't work to protect them, no seal, no protection. So that seal is important. So even though OSHA has postponed that annual requirement, as an employer, you do want to get that in as soon as it's feasibly possible. And if you can do it, just do it, even though they're not requiring it, because it's still the right, safe thing to do. All right. Well, AJ, what do you got for new safety tech or gear to talk about today?
We were looking at those drones that everybody's been using, and it's kind of neat to get them into the safety field and safety industry because we've got, cameras, sensors, all sorts of things we can attach to them. We were even talking about that building collapse. They actually had some people trapped inside a building that had collapsed. Their crane had come down.
Okay.
And it was completely unstable. They couldn't send people in to find what had happened or where stuff was. So they actually flew drones into a collapsed building.
I remember that case. I was out of state, right?
Yep.
We had a case, technically it's out of state, but just across the river from us in Nebraska, where a grain elevator bin exploded. There was a huge hole in it. And they were able to fly a drone up in there to test structural integrity as well.
Yeah,
locally.
It's pretty cool. I think that it's neat to see them applied to more than just, people screwing around in their backyard.
Yeah, well, let's say we got an increased budget in our safety department. And we're like, AJ, top-of-the-line drone for you.
There you go.
And now you have it in your car and you're driving around. What would you use it for in safety?
I don't know. I mean, I would honestly say it'd be fun to do a job site inspection with the drone. But, my money's on one of my employees would look up and he'd be like, free drone. And he'd just huck a wrench at it and bring it down and take it.
Yeah, that's for sure possible. I would be lying if I say I wouldn't have the temptation to attack a drone that was hovering near me.
Right.
I mean, it's just out of instinct. But that would be a decent way to catch people.
Yeah.
Maybe being unsafe that you couldn't normally catch on foot.
For sure, yeah. I mean, the moment people see me coming, all of a sudden all the PPE's on.
See you
job
coming.
boxes are
They
locked.
hear you coming.
Yeah,
They hear you coming 2 blocks away.
I have been told that some of my employees I inspect are so gun shy now that when a loud car drives by, they're like, oh, snap, and they start packing stuff up and putting on PPE just because.
Which is actually a good thing.
That's probably not bad.
The goal with the safety inspections is we do them so often, they get tired of looking over the shoulder and they just start doing things right.
Right, that's the
habit.
idea.
So, yeah, I guess that loud car is helping that.
Right, yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I suppose the drone would be kind of nice. If the guy was out there working, they're not going to hear me coming, they won't see me. All of a sudden, they'll just be like, what on earth is that? Look up and just see a drone, flashing, taking pictures of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course,
especially.
I might be a little freaked out if I didn't know who was piloting the drone if I was at work and all of a sudden a drone was just taking pictures of me.
Yeah. And legally, I don't know if there needs to be any disclaimers like on that site orientation.
That's something I'd have to look into.
Yeah, the legalities of drones I'm not up on, but it'd be nice to tell them right in orientation, and that might just scare them to be good anyway. Just like, hey, while you're on this site, note that we do safety inspections via drone.
Via drone.
And even if you don't see our safety guys, they may be seeing you.
They may see you. Oh man.
Yeah.
Let's get into some safety, Big Brother.
Yeah.
Watch out.
But I put myself at risk all the time having to inspect folks really high up in pipe racks on roofs. I mean,
for sure.
How many roofs you been on?
Honestly, a countless number of roofs at this point.
Yeah, a lot of people you inspect.
Weird, janky, scary places.
All they do is stand on roofs and do work on roofs.
A lot of weird confined spaces, old, nasty, smelly crawl spaces.
Well, it'd be hard to fly drones into, but all them plant roofs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could just sit in your car, pop that out, fly up, go check them out, go.
That'd be pretty cool, actually.
There was 3 people on site. You could hover over until you find all 3 and go down and get some shots, and then
I'll just put a little speaker on it, Stop.
Oh, yeah. That'd be cool.
Wave. This is AJ.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
How are you today? I don't have a microphone. Give me a thumbs up and then just fly away.
It's a social distancing inspection as well.
There you go. I'm just being COVID conscious.
Speaking of safety inspections from our first podcast and talking about drone tech today, I know a lot of safety people, a lot of insurance carrier safety people who are just not doing them right now because of COVID.
Oh man, so much stuff is not happening out in the field.
They don't want to go on site,
right?
So in that construction sense,
yeah,
if I could just drive on site, park far away from everybody,
yeah,
bust out the drone, fly over everybody, come back, I'm totally socially
scare the
distanced.
daylights out of all of them.
Totally socially distanced. So I guess they have more uses than we initially thought. Plus, as an outside consultant, I would charge a lot more for a drone tool, and you just got to pay for that thing, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the main topic. So what we're talking about today is EPP. For our English-speaking friends, that's PPE. For our Spanish-speaking friends, apologize for that butchering of your language. But when I used to have to play a PPE video every day, when I would play it in Spanish, it was always EPP, EPP, and that just got stuck in my head. I just love saying that. It's just fun to say EPP, EPP.
It's a good time.
¿Dónde está EPP? I don't know if I said that right, but where's your PPE? All right, so let's talk about, first of all, let's just go to violations. What do we know of OSHA or safety people busting employees for PPE? What do you got?
There's more in just, and we did this last time. We talked about training. Training's always, OSHA dives straight into it. But when it comes to a PPE thing, man, there's a lot that actually has to go into that program before you can give your employees PPE. And I feel like it's just not getting done, like, period.
For sure. Let's go way, way back in the OSHA reg, because
let's get into the weeds.
My understanding of PPE is that it starts with the JHA.
Right. There's
your acronyms for your day. JHA, Job Hazard Analysis. A lot of people call them a JSA, Job Safety Analysis, but it's right in the OSHA reg.
Yep. You got to go over every single test that employee might perform, and then you have to apply to each hazard the hierarchy of controls.
Right.
So you start there.
So find the hazards and then try to get rid of them in a certain manner.
Right.
Which PPE is not on top of that.
No. Very, very bottom.
Substitution, engineering, these are things on the top. PPE is the very bottom, but how many employers reverse that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would honestly say most of the time they're just like, oh, what, you can almost chop your finger off? Here's a glove.
Yeah.
Oh, there's stuff flying, hitting you in the face. Here's some safety glasses.
And how many cases have you worked? I know I've worked plenty where the employee got injured, sometimes severe, while wearing PPE.
Most cases.
Yeah. And as a PPE instructor, OSHA requires us to really drill that home, that PPE is the last level of defense. It's not how you solve problems. It's like when you suck at solving problems, it's what you're left with.
Right. And, like, that's one of the big lectures I try to give. You want to imagine, I steal one of your lessons, but I always say, if you're going to be using PPE, imagine it like a bulletproof vest.
Right.
You're not out there going, yes, I'm going to wear this. And if somebody blasted you in the chest with that bulletproof vest, you're not going to look down and be like, oh, good thing I was wearing this. No, you're going to be on the ground, broken bones, internal bleeding. It saved your life, and it maybe took the edge off the injury.
Right.
But it was not controlling any hazard.
Yeah, it didn't control it. It just lessened the impact on you.
Yeah.
I still use that one, and, I still use the jockstrap one, too. It's one of my favorite analogies.
No.
I say if anybody believes PPE is a great thing to prevent injury, actually, I need to start doing it live.
I don't know, man.
No,
we could get in trouble for this one.
Well, we can't, but it's fun to talk about. They, I run dojos. And
do you?
Yes, and they have these jock straps that go on the outside of the clothes.
See, now I've been looking for a fashionable over-the-pants jock strap. If you got a line on the market for a fashionable, now I'm looking for something definitely in the a more conservative. I don't want it too flashy.
They're usually not flashy. They're usually
I want somebody to be walking
colors.
past me and going, man, that guy's jock is protected.
Yeah, well, they sell them, and
that's what I'm looking for.
I was out in Denver, and I forgot my cup, and I wanted to train, and they had one of those. I had to wear one. I got in there and sparred. It was fine.
Over the pants.
Yeah, over the pants. So if we need to get one, keep it in our training center. When we're doing PPE, we'll challenge anybody who thinks PPE is a great way to solve workplace hazards. We'll say, fine, put this on. We'll line up in a row. We'll each get one kick straight up the pipe. And there's about, 5, 10, 30 of us in the room.
Yeah, depending on the class.
Afterwards, give us a report on how well.
Yeah, the PPE did.
Yeah, and I can't imagine anybody going, great.
Yeah, excellent. I don't know how many words are going to actually be able to come out of their mouth after 30.
No, and whatever words did come out would be at a much higher pitch.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd make it past the first person. They just start throwing blows.
I was sparring one of our fighters Saturday. He's a Marine sniper.
Oh man.
He just got out, but he's a tough dude, super intense, and he uppercutted me right down, where the sun
Nice.
don't shine.
Were you wearing your over the
I
pants?
was. No, it wasn't the
Oh.
over the pants. It was inside the pants, and it did protect me, obviously, but it did still hurt.
Oh, for sure.
And that's PPE. It sums it up. It does not take away the injury. It does not take away all the pain. It's like Tylenol.
Yeah.
It takes the edge off.
Kind of takes the edge off, and hopefully you don't die.
Yeah.
Like when you see those horrible internet pictures of like a blade exploding and flying and like stabbing right into the place in front of the guy's eye, and you see the safety glasses stop it, you're just like, oh man. But like, if that thing wasn't there, that would have been buried like 2 inches into his brain.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it does completely, I guess, save you in your analogy.
Yeah, in that, yeah.
If it didn't touch the eye.
But no thanks. Like,
but if there was more shrapnel,
oh yeah,
and it hit other than your eye, safety glasses only protect you dry. The rest of your face is getting pelted, and that brings me to steel toe.
Oh yeah,
we had a guy offloading a scissor lift, dropping on his foot, and it actually only landed on the toes.
Just the toes.
It was amazing. So when we took off his boot to assess his injuries, he just kind of had a line across where his toe goes into his foot, where the weight kind of pressed in that edge into there, and he was completely fine. But I mean, how rare is that when a pipe falls off a pipe stand or a scissor lift falls off a trailer where it only lands on your toes?
Well, the toe part for the steel toe is kind of elevated a little bit. So unless it's coming way up near the top of your foot, I mean, if it's just across that bottom part of your foot, I think the steel toe is going to offer you a decent level of protection.
For sure.
Now, honestly, if it's not there, you're just obliterating your whole foot.
Yeah.
But if it is there, I mean, you might break a couple bones in your foot, but the injury is going to be a lot smaller.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, it doesn't prevent it, doesn't control it. It just lessens the impact on it. So let's talk about hard hats. What do you see for hard hat violations out there?
Well, people just not wearing them properly. I mean, that's right in the reg, knowing how to properly wear. You have to be trained on how to wear your gear. You got to know your donning and doffing and storage and all that fun stuff. And hard hats, I feel like, are probably one of the most abused. They're taken off. They're just chunked in the gang box. Like, all the webbing's all snapped apart. The little pieces that hold the webbing are snapped. And then guys will be wearing them. They're not tight enough. They don't know how to wear them properly. Or they're just not okay with being a little uncomfortable. And so they're falling off their head everywhere. It's not good.
So if OSHA or a site safety personnel caught them wearing a damaged hard hat, they would be busted?
Oh, yeah. You can't wear damaged gear or equipment.
No, you can't use damaged gear or equipment. You can't wear damaged gear. You got to inspect it before you use it. One of the questions I get all the time on hard hats, is it illegal to put a sticker on a hard hat?
Oh, man. I think if you get down into, like, the actual crux of covering up damage and like, literally, if you like, completely coated the whole thing, you can't see hard hat anymore. It's just stickers. I mean, you're in the place for an OSHA citation. But I think because it's also so commonplace, I think a lot of OSHA inspectors are just genuinely going to look at it and be like, yep, that's just norm.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they could cite you on it. I've never seen it.
I've never
seen them cite you on it, but it does inhibit inspection.
Yep.
Just like painting a scaffold plank, painting a ladder, all that's illegal because you could cover up damage. You could easily cover up damage on a hard hat with a sticker. I believe it inhibits inspection, but I think they just don't enforce that.
Yeah. It's too much of like an ingrained culture.
Yeah, I mean, for a construction guy, that's their resume.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at a guy, I'm looking at his hard hat, and I'm knowing his experience, how long he's been in the trade. I'm just by all the stickers, the places he's been, what he's certified in.
Buying a new hard hat's a big deal for those guys.
Yeah, we had some guys going to quit the job site because they instituted a rule where when you came on the site, it was a biodiesel plant. And they said you had to have a new hard hat to come on the site. It was a site rule. And all these old timers with their resume on their hard hat were like, no way. I ain't looking like no noob.
Right?
They didn't want to look like a greenhorn, man. They were
with their sparkly, beautiful little hard hat.
They were really upset about it because that's how you could tell the noob or the manager or the office dork office people who are coming out there because they got this glistening, beautiful hard hat.
I take great pride in how clean I keep that hard hat. Man, I came out of this one crawl space that it was in between two centers in an old building, and all of me was just black. I mean, head to toe. I had to clean everything. I'm proud of my sparkly little hard hat. It's been in some nasty places, and I keep that thing all right.
Yeah, but how many employees do you know that maintenance their hard hat?
Oh, not many.
Probably zero. I mean,
Probably
I
zero.
I don't know many people cleaning their hard hats.
No.
All right. So face shields. When do people have to wear face shields on the site?
I mean, face shields are great. They help protect you from a lot of that flying, floating, particulates, debris, and all that fun stuff. I would rather people understood their safety glasses more than their face shields. Last year, 2019, was my worst year for rust ring removal surgery. I had 4 guys all go in, all wearing safety glasses, all had to get rust ring removal surgery. If they would have known to put on a face shield, would have helped them so much.
Yeah, I mean, people think that people think that safety glasses do what face shields do, and that's just not true, right?
Yeah, they're just like, oh, eye protection, put it on. But they don't get it.
I agree. So what is? Let's go to safety glasses. What hazard was safety glasses designed to protect people from?
Impact.
Yeah. So
If you got safety glasses, they're going to protect you from something impacting your face and eye.
If you were in the WWE and you were going to smoke somebody in the face with a 2x4, and that person had safety glasses on, their ocular socket would be saved, their eyeball would be saved.
I mean, hopefully that's a pretty heavy impact over the eye.
But that's what it was for, impacts.
Right.
It wasn't for flying debris or splashes.
Right.
Flying small particles.
Right.
But that's what everybody thinks it's for.
Yep.
I'm telling you, there's a little picture on a machine, a chop saw. Wear your safety glasses.
Wear your safety glasses.
Now, if that blade comes apart, or
Yep.
the material, the stock you're working on comes apart and a big chunk hits your eye, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But all that flying spark and debris, safety glasses aren't going to do nothing for
No,
you.
absolutely
Well,
not.
not much. And you were backing that up with real life data, 5 cases.
4, yeah.
So tell us about what happens when a guy goes in with metal in his eye.
So it happens pretty quick. If you got any ferrous containing material, any metals like that, they got a little bit of iron in them. Your eyeball has got like a
What's
ton
a
of oxygen.
ferrous containing material?
Anything with iron in it.
Okay.
So if it's got some iron in it, and you got to go in, you got to get that out like right away. They say even within hours, because if that sits on your eyeball, it can actually start to rust underneath that little fleck of metal onto your eye right away. And then when they go in, they'll actually pop that little piece of metal off, and then you got this little rust right on the white meat of your eye. And then they got to go in with this little teeny Dremel tool, and they got to scrape that thing right off your eyeball, get all that infected meat out of there. It's something that gives me the willies.
Did they have to do that to any of your guys last year?
All 4.
Nuh-uh.
They all 4 had rust ring removal surgery.
No way.
2 of them I watched. Stood right over the
Wow.
shoulder, and I'm just like peeking.
That's gross.
Yeah, every single time the doctor would like tell him to hold still, the guy would look away, and you just hear this little, and then like right away, like I get the pucker. I'm like, ah! And then the doctor's like, hold still.
Yeah.
That's the one. I watched a guy's whole arm reconstructive surgery. Nothing. I was like, that's neat. Click, took a picture. Watching a Dremel tool in a guy's eyeball. Nope. Like, yeah, I was at full clench all day.
No, that's hardcore torture stuff.
Woohoo.
They torture people by messing with their eyeballs. So, and they were all wearing safety glasses, you said?
All of them. All 4 cases.
And what were they doing? What job were they doing?
So
task.
2 of them running a grinder, wearing safety glasses.
Okay, handheld angle grinder.
Yep.
Okay.
So big dust cloud. One of them was using compressed air to clean a workstation. So wearing safety glasses, spraying around. And the 4th guy, I don't remember. I just remember I was there.
Fine.
I don't remember the exact case.
So the guys were grinding metal,
Mm-hmm.
and that guy using compressed air to clean somehow got metal in his eye.
Yeah, big. It was a huge dust cloud. He was just spraying off all the tools and equipment and machine the floor at the shop, so there's metal dust everywhere.
Gotcha.
And he's just spraying it around.
All right. So had they all 4 been wearing face shields, what do you think the outcome would have been?
I mean, I think the guys using the grinders with the face shield, I think they would have been probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Now the guy with the giant dust cloud doing it with the compressed air, I mean, it's still a good chance it could actually, because it's all of the air in the room now basically is, metal flake. He probably needed like goggles.
Okay, I could see that. I still think he probably would have been pretty well protected, but yeah, goggles are superior as far as making sure nothing gets in your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're about out of time today, but just to recap the show, that personal protective equipment is not how we're supposed to handle workplace injuries. It's our last resort. We're supposed to use substitution. We're supposed to engineer the problem away so it doesn't exist. We are even supposed to make a new rule, standard operating procedure, to reduce the hazard that way. And if all else fails, we can use PPE, but then we got to train them on how to put on, how to take it off, limitations, maintenance, storage, all that stuff.
Oh, and don't forget, you have to create a written program.
Oh yeah, you need a policy.
We didn't even talk about written programs.
Well, that's all we have time for today, and I don't even think we scratched the surface. So stay tuned for probably another episode on PPE in the future.
So